We're hands-on with Google Pixel 9a that has a fresh new look. Hey friends, I'm Tasia Custode, and in this video, we're running through some of the best Pixel 9a features. Let's go. Jumping right into the specs, Pixel 9a features its super powerful AI-focused Tensor G4 chip. It's got 8 GB of RAM, and you have the option of 128 or 256 GB of storage. When it comes to size, Pixel 9a is a bit bigger than its predecessor, the 8a, but really close to the 9 in specs. It's 6.1 inches by 2.9 inches by 0.4 inches, but its weight is ever so slightly lighter, weighing in at just 6.6 ounces. And we'll talk about this slightly bigger design in a second, but for now, let's talk display. Pixel 9a uses Gorilla Glass 3 and features a 6.3-inch Actua display. 9a is also 35% brighter than Pixel 8a at 2700 nits peak brightness. It's got a resolution of 1080 by 2424 pixels and a 120 Hz refresh rate for a smooth experience. The color I've got is Obsidian, but it also comes in porcelain, peony, and iris. When it comes to the physical design of Pixel 9a, I'm loving the sleek, flat profile and rounded edges. These are aluminum rails, and the back is a smooth plastic, not glass. And you may notice a major change to the camera bar from Pixel 8a and other Pro Series models. Gone is the full-length camera bar bump, and here is, well, nearly no bump at all. Yes, the look you've come to know from Pixel is no longer, at least not with Pixel 9a. Rather, the camera bar, if we can call it that, is a slightly domed and more simple design. And there are a couple of big wins when it comes to this redesign. First, the camera is more protected when you have a case, which you should always protect your devices. Second, it now lays flat on a surface rather than a little bit of rocking back and forth. Third, the slightly bigger design that you really won't notice much in terms of weight or hand feel means Google was able to pack in a bigger battery, a whopping 5100 milliamp hours battery that provides over 30 hours of battery life. To be clear, that's more than Pixel 9 Pro XL. Yeah, it's the biggest and best battery on a Pixel device yet. Amen. Praise be. Overall, I love the size and feel of Pixel 9a in my hand. This is really the biggest I like to go for a phone. I've got tiny hands and I prefer to be able to navigate with one hand. Another Pixel 9a feature that's all new this year is the IP68 water and dust resistance rating, meaning it can withstand spills, drops, and dings. Google says this is their most durable phone yet, although I'm not ready to launch it from a slingshot into a puddle of water, as much fun as that would be. So now let's get into one of my favorite features of any Pixel device, the cameras. We talked a little bit about the camera bump, but now let's get into the actual camera specs. On the back, we've got a dual rear camera system, but what's interesting here is the scale back of the main lens. While Pixel 8a had a 64 megapixel quad PD wide camera, Pixel 9a interestingly has a 48 megapixel main camera quad PD dual pixel, with a slightly smaller sensor than we saw on Pixel 8a. However, Pixel 9a has gained macro mode capabilities. The 9a also has a 13 megapixel ultra-wide lens on the back and features super res zoom up to 8 times. And what's important to note here is that even though 8a uses a 64 megapixel main camera, its output was 16 megapixel images. So perhaps Google realized with the boost in camera software that we really didn't need a 64 megapixel sensor since we weren't being delivered 64 megapixels to the camera app anyway. Make sense? That's my semi-educated guess anyhow. Now on the front, there's a 13 megapixel lens, just as we saw with 8a. Pixel 9a has all of the shooting modes you've come to know and love as well, like night sight, astrophotography, long exposure, and more. It's also got a bunch of my favorite AI editing features, which we'll get to in a little bit. First, let's see the camera in action. I'm a firm believer that A-series pixels give you a lot of bang for your buck. If you know my content by now, you know I point and shoot. I don't mess around with a lot of settings, so I tested out a few different modes and I'm quite happy with most of the photos as they are. So for good measure, here's a couple side-by-sides with the flagship Pixel 9 Pro XL and Pixel 9a. On most modes, to be honest, if you're going to be looking at photo quality that say we were going to look at on our devices, consume maybe on Instagram or something, you'd be hard pressed to really tell the difference. And to be frank, most people aren't comparing between these two models anyway. So I think Pixel is always top tier in terms of image quality, so you should be quite happy with this camera system. Night sight has been really impressive on 9a. When I had tested the 8A, it had taken a long time to focus in night sight, but not so with 9A. It focuses a lot quicker and the shots are crisp and bright. Really the biggest noticeable difference for me here on 9A is the zoom quality, or I should say lack thereof the zoom quality. Like for comparison, I took out my iPhone 15 Pro, which obviously isn't even the newest model. I threw them both to 8x zoom to take a picture of this mountain, and the Pixel 9a, it just struggled so much to even get anything in focus. And it unfortunately was like that for a lot of my zoom quality images. Anything over 5x zoom really was kind of a miss for me. It's really hard to beat some of the Pro models when it comes to their zoom capabilities because they are just so good. So for now, we move on to some video specs. Just like with Pixel 8a, from the rear cameras, you can shoot in 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second, or 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second. And from the front, you can shoot 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second, or 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, lots of the same video features we know and love from Pixel are available here too, like cinematic pan, slow-mo, time-lapse, and more. So far, I've been quite happy with the video quality on Pixel 9a. By the way, let me know in the comments below if you want a full camera review of Pixel 9a. Ask and you shall receive. And with that, let's move on to some of the best AI features on Pixel 9a. There are so many AI features, we would be here all day, so this is just a quick overview for you. First, the Gemini app is now powered by Gemini 2.0 Flash. Flash is the key word here because the Gemini app is so fast at providing everyday help with tasks. Next, and maybe most exciting, Gemini Live is multimodal. And I'm not even talking about adding images to your chat, which of course you can do. Oh no, this goes so far beyond that. Gemini Live with camera and screen sharing capabilities is now available to all Gemini app users on Pixel 9 devices, including Pixel 9a. You'll recall that Gemini Live is where you voice chat to have a free-flowing conversation. So this is a big upgrade to be able to use your camera and/or screen share with Gemini to provide even more context and help with anything you're looking at. Love. There's also improved image generation with Pixel 9a along with deep research capabilities. And if you want to learn all about Gemini Deep Research, you can watch that video by clicking up here or via the link in the description below. And of course, there are 1,000,001 AI magic tricks when it comes to editing your photos and videos on a Pixel device. So here are my favorites for Pixel 9a. Best Take is available on Pixel 9a, as you'd expect. I have been in love with Best Take since its launch. Google AI combines similar photos into one picture to make sure everyone looks great. And I'll link to a video up here and in the description below all about how to use Best Take because it really is so magical. Add Me is another feature we know and love that is available on Pixel 9a. This is such an easy way to snap a group photo even if you don't have a designated photo taker. You just swap places with someone in the photo and voila. And you know I have a video on Add Me as well. Now, when it comes to video editing features, Pixel 9a also features Audio Magic Eraser. So you can use that to reduce distracting sounds and turn up the sounds you actually want to hear. Magic Editor is also available on Pixel 9a, where you can easily reimagine your photos with a simple prompt. Now, when it comes to price, Pixel 9a is a winner chicken dinner. It's the same price as last year's model, starting at $499, which was the same price as the previous year's model. Tariffs be darned. $500 is great value, especially considering the upgraded battery and the 7 years of software and security updates that you get with this device. So should you buy Pixel 9a? frankly, in this economy, you'd be silly not to. Lack of zoom capabilities aside, Pixel 9a is an impressive device. And not even impressive for the price, it's just impressive, period. If you want a solid camera system with the best AI and software features Google has to offer, something that's a feel-good form factor in hand at an affordable price point, Pixel 9a could be for you. So now I want to hear from you. Will you snag the Pixel 9a series over the flagship models? Why or why not? Let everyone know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, well, I want to know. So give it a like, a share, or you can leave that comment below. You can click right about here to subscribe to my channel and here for even more Pixel goodness. Thanks for watching. See you next time.